in the last game, that, like they said, the quietest 1-versus-2 matchup ever in the history of college football, right? Which is the BIG10 championship, which is Ohio State and Indiana. Right now, Ohio State is the 4.5-point favorite. All right. So, AB, who you got?
So the weather won't be a factor because this game is played in, I think, Colt
Indiana.
Stadium, right, in
Yep.
Indianapolis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
man, this was a
Lucas
tough
Oil
game to
Stadium.
pick. Ohio State they have shown that they can be got, right? I seen play and play and play after play Michigan wide receivers beating Ohio State DBs, but the quarterback play from Michigan's quarterback was absolute trash. He was throwing the ball out of bounds. He was throwing it at their feet. I didn't understand what was going on. It was bad, man. And then their Michigan started running back got hurt. Indiana has a good run game. They run a balanced offense. So they have a good running back. Fernando Mendoza, he's a dog, man. His numbers don't jump off the page, but he takes care of the ball. He moves the offense down the field. He's a threat to run with his legs. Um, it's going to be a challenge for Ohio State. I got Ohio State by field goal. I don't think they cover the spread. He said it was about 4.5, right?
Yep, 4.5. Yep.
Yeah, I got Ohio State, man, barely. I want to go Indiana bad, but I think Ohio State gonna get them. But yeah, slim margin.
Okay. All right, Ed, who you got?
I don't know, man. I was looking at their common opponents, right? So UCLA, Indiana dropped 56 on them. Ohio State, they dropped 48. And then Purdue, Indiana dropped 56 on them. Also, Ohio State put 34-10. Yeah, I know, what I'm saying, like, they just run it different. I want to go with Ohio State, but, oh, man, I don't know. Like you said, this is the quietest 1-2 matchup in a while. And it's because a lot of people are leaning Ohio State. Ohio State has that signature win earlier in the season. A tough Michigan team. They played. Give me Indiana, man. Signetti.
Oh.
All right. Who you got, Vic?
So, yeah, this is probably the toughest game to pick of the week. And it kind of goes back to my problem about that conference and those games that's being played. Like I said last week, like we don't know how good Ohio State is. They play nobody, and then when they played Michigan last week, if they had a decent quarterback, they would have been in trouble last week. So I think when it comes to Indiana, they run a balanced offense. Mendoza, he's a proficient quarterback. He don't make mistakes. They keep a balance. They keep a balanced offense. I I think it's just going to come down to when it comes to this game. It's going to come down to the athletes that Ohio State have to make a few more plays than Indiana. Because when it comes to roster wise, Ohio State is a way better roster. But I think as a team, Indiana is not as far off as it from Ohio State. I want to pick Indiana, but just for the fact that I think Ohio State will make like one play or two to give them the edge, I'm gonna go with Ohio State in a close game. But I don't expect Ohio State to. I just don't think Ohio State is as good as they're not the number one team in the nation. So, and I think that goes back to the scheduling. They need to do something about that. But yeah, I got Ohio State with the slight edge by a field goal. But I wouldn't be surprised
All
if
right.
Indiana get the win. Also, I'll
I
actually
agree.
prefer that more.
Yeah. And again, you stole a lot of my stuff. Ohio State, right? Everybody says they're the clear number one team in the nation, right? But I really think it should always also be a case for Indiana. And I know that
Yeah,
right now that Ohio State beat Texas, they beat Michigan, right? Two big wins. But Indiana went on the road to Oregon, right? Who's the number 5 team right now. And I mean, pretty much whooped Oregon. right? I mean, that still
That's a
blows
good.
my mind.
That's a good point.
And I think that Signetti is a guy that's coaching with a chip on his shoulder. Like I said, he got a lot of players that got chips on their shoulders because, like I said, a lot of those players he got were not highly recruited Division One prospects. They all started lower level, came up, right? I think Indiana is
I'm
going
about
to
to
get
no
Ohio
star.
State. Yes,
Mm.
I really think Indiana is going to get Ohio State in this game, man. I've kind of said it a few times early, man. I think Cincinnati is a great coach, and like you said, I think the thing that's unique about Indiana is you really can't pinpoint on one thing. They do it all pretty well, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the running, the passing, the defense, and I just think Ohio State, they've been challenged, but I don't think they run into somebody like Indiana yet, and I think Indiana wins by 3 points. I think Indiana stuns them in that
Mm-hmm.
game.
So I
I want to
agree.
pick Indiana bad too, man. Jeez.
I agree with everything pretty much everybody said. But a couple of things I want to point out. Ohio State, everybody would say their biggest competition was Texas week 1, right? And that will be Arch first start as a start quarterback in that environment. So I don't think, and he's way better than he was from week 1. And then
Yeah.
as far as Indiana go, I just think, like you said, it's a bunch of no stars and 1 stars. And that can only sometimes, most of the time, take you so far before it's like, some athletes just got that instinct to just make a play or just make a play at the right time. And I think, as far as roster wise, that will be the downfall. But hopefully, Indiana win because I don't want to see Ohio State win. And I actually don't think they're the best team in the nation. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, man. Like I said, it's just crazy, man, that this is the number 1 and 2 matchup, and like you don't really hear anything about it.
Yeah, they're not even talking
I
about it.
mean,
I'm not
yeah, they
talking about
haven't.
no.
Yeah,
And I
and
think it's
it's
because
just
a
it's
lot of
just
people are
crazy,
heavily
man. You
favoring
hear,
Ohio State. You know,
and that could be the reason. I mean, as you hear more about the ACC championship, the Big 12, the SEC. It's like the Big 10, nothing, muted
Yeah,
like nothing, right? And you would think that would be the biggest game, but I guess because there's really no impact on either team, too. So I don't know.
yeah.